Y'all, I'm pregnant. I am 14 weeks. I've been in my second trimester for about a week now, and it still feels so unreal. Oh my God. But I wanted to come on here and do a recap of my first trimester because I'm gonna do my best to chronicle and document this journey because I'm a first-time mom. I don't have no kids. I have never had a baby before. I've never been a mom before. So all the things, I want to do everything. Sign me up for everything. The way that I found out I was pregnant is because I just had a feeling that I needed to take another test. I took 2 tests before I found out that I was pregnant. I took 2 tests like 2 or 3 days apart. And my period was supposed to be coming on a Monday. But that Saturday, I didn't feel like I was experiencing my normal like pre-period symptoms. So I was like, let me take a pregnancy test. I took the test and it was negative. And even though me and my husband, like we weren't trying for a baby, you know, I was a little disappointed. Like it would have been exciting if it was positive. And so I had texted my sister and I was like, I just took a pregnancy test and it was negative and now I'm sad. So I took my moment to sulk or whatever, but I just decided to refocus on my 30th birthday because I'm turning 30 this September and I wanted to go out of the country. So it wasn't necessarily going to be ideal to get pregnant at that time and go on this birthday trip. But 2 more days went by. Monday came and went. My period was supposed to come on. It didn't. And on Tuesday, I was like, if my period doesn't come on by lunchtime, I'm going to take another test. And the crazy part is, I was taking prenatal vitamins, like just routinely because that's what my doctor advised me to do. She was like, even if you're not trying for a baby, you should still take them just in case if you're, you know, like not on birth control or anything. And so I stopped taking my prenatal vitamins. My first pregnancy test was negative. And I thought I'll just wait until my period goes off and then I'll start taking them again. But I just had a feeling that I needed to start taking my prenatal vitamins. And I only had like 2 left in my bottle at home. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Target on my lunch break and buy some more vitamins. And while I was there, I got a pregnancy test. Y'all, I went to the bathroom at Target. I didn't wait to get home. I didn't wait to get to the bathroom at my job. Like I was a little anxious. Like I felt like I just needed to go ahead and do it. And so I took the test in the bathroom at Target. And when I tell you those 2 lines popped up so quick, my mouth dropped. I was shocked simply because the test was negative the first time. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? But I was also like very, very excited, very happy. I immediately called my sister since I had told her that I took a test and it was negative. And then I FaceTimed her. I was like, girl, look, I'm pregnant. And it's so interesting how things can change so quickly because your HCG levels increase significantly with each day that passes when you are pregnant. And so even though the test didn't detect it when I took it, all I needed was a couple of days. So the next thing that was immediately on my mind was how I was gonna tell my husband that I was pregnant. Because I don't wanna just come home and be like, hey babe, I'm pregnant. I wanted it to be special. I wanted it to be creative. And so I was on Google, Pinterest, YouTube, like just trying to find all the ways, TikTok, that people tell their husband that they're pregnant or tell their baby daddy that they're pregnant. And nothing really stuck with me until I came across a blog article where this woman was talking about how she got a car seat and I think she put a stuffed animal in it. But I decided to order a onesie on Amazon. The onesie said, guess what? And then I got a car seat from Walmart and I laid the onesie in the car seat. And when I pulled up, I was like, hey, can you come outside? I need you to help me get some stuff out of the car. And so when he came out, that's when he saw the onesie in the car seat. And then I had the positive pregnancy test in my hand. Now, before we got to that part, he was on to me, y'all. And I was so mad because I was really doing my best to keep it a secret. He was like, oh, did your period come on? I was like, yeah, it came on. Just lying. Because I wasn't ready to tell him yet because the onesie wasn't going to arrive until Thursday. So The day before I had planned to tell him, he asked me again. We were in the middle of just praying. You know, couple that prays together stays together. He's praying on the phone. In the middle of the prayer, he stops. And he's like, Gladys, can I ask you something? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, is your period really on? Y'all, my heart started beating so fast. I was like, oh my God, how does he know? How does he know? And so, you know, I don't want to lie. So my first response is, why would you ask me that? And he's like, well, I haven't seen any tampon or pad wrappers in the trash. All in my business. So then I'm like, oh, it's just because I've been at work a lot. And he was like, oh, okay. And he didn't question me about it anymore for the rest of the evening. But I was glad that I was planning to tell him the next day, because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to carry this on much longer. So that was when I told him the next day after work. And he came and he saw it. And as soon as he saw it, he just started laughing. And he was like, I had a feeling. But I was so proud of the way in which I told him and shared with him. I think it'll be a fond memory for years to come. Now, we decided to share with our siblings sooner than we shared with our parents. We wanted to tell our parents for Mother's Day. It was our plan to share Mother's Day weekend. It was really my plan to share Mother's Day weekend. My husband was okay with telling them sooner. And so we invited both of our moms to come in town to visit us, because they live in Miami, Orlando, and we're in Tallahassee. And Randall actually had to work on Mother's Day, so we weren't going to be able to travel to them. So I invited them to us, saying like, oh, we want to spend the holiday with you all, but because Randall has to work, we're not going to be able to come. Can y'all come up here? Both of them got on board. My brother and sister came as well. And what I did was order 2 sonogram frames on Amazon that said, Grandma, I can't wait to meet you. And we had our first ultrasound the week before Mother's Day. So we got our ultrasound photos printed and we put it in the frame. And you know how it has baby identified on it. And we gave it to them like it was just a regular Mother's Day gift. We had them open it at the same time. And that was how they found out that we had a little bundle of joy on the way. And they're both going to be first-time grandmas. Our child is going to be the first grandchild on both sides. Now, as far as symptoms, God has really been good to me, because I have heard some horror stories, and by the grace, that is not my testimony. Everything that I've seen in the movies and TV shows with the morning sickness and the throwing up, I didn't experience any of that. There were a few times that I got nauseous, but it was mild. And if I was able to get a ginger ale, then I would be fine. My stomach would settle, and it just wasn't bad. Like, I feel like most of the time, even me having the mild nausea was triggered by me like waiting too long to eat, but I didn't wake up feeling sick. Very, very blessed, I know. One symptom I have had that I actually didn't expect, and I didn't know it was a pregnancy symptom, is headaches, y'all. Sometimes it's like I don't even know where they come from. I just get them, and it doesn't happen every day. But it definitely happens a couple times a week, I would say that. And before I was pregnant, whenever I had a headache, I would take Excedrin. But when you're pregnant, you can't take that because it has aspirin. About the most I can do is just go to sleep, try to sleep it off, try to get away from like light, because light becomes irritating, whether that's lights in the house or the brightness on my phone or computer screen. I just have to close my eyes, lay down, wait for it to go away. And then tender breasts. My breasts have been tender from the beginning. I don't know if it's gonna be this way throughout the whole, process. I don't know if this is like your body preparing itself to breastfeed and that's why it's so tender. I don't know if it's going to continue to be tender after I have the baby and I'm breastfeeding and stuff like that. I can definitely notice that I'm hungrier. Like, I get hungrier quicker than I would before I was pregnant. And so they tell you to eat a lot of snacks instead of eating like 3 square meals a day. So y'all, I had to buy snacks and keep them in my desk at work just in case that hunger decides to rise up in me and I can't go get something. I just have snacks that I can reach for that'll, help relieve me until I'm able to leave. And I have been thirstier than I have ever been. I drink water all day long, literally. This right here has been my best buddy. I fill it up in the morning, I fill it up in the middle of the day, I fill it up at night, and I'm just always drinking water. And honestly, because I'm always so thirsty, I think that helps with keeping me from drinking soda and juice and stuff, because when you're thirsty, you need water. Like, that's the only thing that's gonna quench your thirst. Y'all, I don't know how I forgot this symptom, because this is probably the most prominent one. Fatigue. I have been tired. I have been tired from the beginning, y'all. I mean, to the point that I be feeling like I need a nap in the middle of the workday. My energy levels have been so low. They're highest in the morning, but by the time the afternoon rolls around, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to lay down. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't even want to go grocery shopping. And can't drink energy drinks. And with caffeine, you can have caffeine, but it's supposed to be limited intake. I was never really a coffee drinker to begin with, even prior to being pregnant, because I just simply didn't want to be dependent on it. But y'all, the fatigue is so real. Like, your body is using all of its energy to grow your baby. You no longer come first. The child comes first. The fetus comes first. All energy goes to them. But yeah, that's really it. Like I said, I've been very blessed. I've heard some horror stories about pregnancy symptoms, especially in the first trimester, but I have not been sick. God has been good to me. Other than that, I haven't had any weird cravings yet. People always ask me like, oh, what are your cravings? I don't really have them. I just be hungry, like regular, everything I ate before I eat now. So I haven't had any food aversions either. There's nothing that I used to like before I was pregnant that now tastes nasty or turns me off. And I don't know if it'll become that way like later in the pregnancy. But right now I'm good. I'm eating everything that I've usually eaten. I am doing my best to lay off sugar and sugary drinks, doing my best to eat healthier, like whole foods and whole meals, instead of eating fast food and stuff. Now, I have had fast food sometimes. I ain't gonna get on here and act like I don't eat fast food anymore, because sometimes I do. But I try to be as intentional as possible about selecting the healthier choice when it is available. I try to drink fruit smoothies in the morning. I try to start my day with something lighter, because this is the other thing. They tell you like, oh, when you're pregnant, you need to eat for two. Like, that's what people say. That's not what the doctors say. That's not what you need to be doing. Because if you eat for two grown adults, that baby weight is going to be extremely hard to get off. And I keep reminding myself that I'm going to have to live in this body when it's all said and done and when the baby is outside. And when it comes to working out, y'all, I was being so consistent with my workouts before I found out I was pregnant. And the moment I found out I was pregnant, all of a sudden I was scared. And it's not that you can't work out when you're pregnant, but I didn't want to go too hard. I didn't want to do anything that was going to be harmful to the baby or cause a miscarriage or anything like that, because the first trimester is already a really sensitive time. Anything can go wrong. That's when most miscarriages happen. So I just didn't want anything to happen on my account. And I had a membership at a gym, in a gym class. And so I went to that class twice. And then I was like, you know what? I think I would just chill out. And the workouts are pretty intense at the gym class I was going to. It's a lot of HIIT cardio, it's a lot of high activities. And so I chose to just take a step back, but that didn't mean that I don't need to be working out at all. So this has been the challenge. The doctor advised working out like by going on a walk, going on a brisk walk at least 4 times a week, about 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. They tell you that when you're doing any other kind of workout, that you should at least be able to carry on a conversation. And if whatever you're doing is causing you not to be able to carry on a conversation because you're so winded, you're going too hard. And those are definitely the kind of workouts that we were doing in my gym class. So I just started trying to get back to my walking and wearing my Apple Watch, trying to track how many calories I'm burning and documenting my exercise goal for the day, because I want to remain as active as possible. Because it's not just for post-pregnancy, but it's also healthy to remain active during your pregnancy instead of, just sitting down and eating everything in sight just because you feel like you can. I had my first doctor's appointment at 10 weeks pregnant, and that's when the embryo graduates to a fetus, so that was very exciting. And we had our first ultrasound at that appointment. And when we saw the baby, it was such a special moment. Because it's like, I knew I was pregnant, but it gets a little realer when you can see the baby on the screen. And we could even see the baby moving. I didn't expect it to be moving that early, but it was, and it was so cute, and it was so special. And I had another appointment about a month later, maybe. And my second ultrasound, we could see that the baby had grown, and that was exciting too. And I have an app, I have the Flow app that I was using to track my period. But now that I'm pregnant, it tracks my pregnancy, it tracks the baby's growth, tells you symptoms and what you can expect at a certain week that you're in. And so that has helped me kind of gauge how big the baby is and how big it's getting. Right now, it's the size of a peach. Y'all, my stomach is growing. I feel like I started showing pretty quickly, to be honest. And some people, they don't show until the second trimester. I feel like I was showing in my first trimester, and I was trying so hard to conceal it by what I was wearing, big t-shirts and jackets and things that would kind of hide. Because of course, I wasn't ready to announce yet, because I didn't want to wait until we were at that 12-week mark before we shared, But yeah. My stomach is definitely growing. It's definitely protruding. I literally have to consciously remind myself to stop sucking it in. Like, it's almost like a reflex. Like when I put on a tighter dress or a tighter shirt, I'm so used to being self-conscious about that. And now I'm just like, girl, it's okay. Like, you don't have to suck it in. You have an excuse now. You have a reason for your stomach to be poking out like this. But yeah, I'm excited to experience it moving when it starts moving. And I'm referring to the baby as an it because we don't know what the gender is yet. I think we've both always wanted a girl, but we're also open to a boy. I'm gonna still be happy if it's a boy. I'm gonna be happy to have a healthy baby earthside with me and my husband. But I did have blood work done at my last doctor's appointment, and the results are supposed to be uploaded. It would have been 7 days from the appointment, which was Thursday. So now it's Saturday. So probably about 4 more days, the results will be uploaded, but we're not going to look at it because we do want to have a gender reveal with our friends and family. I just feel like it's a really exciting moment to be able to share with them. And since this is our first time becoming parents and our first time having a baby, I just want to do all the things, all the festivities, all the milestones. I want to celebrate all of them. Now, based on Google, the old wives' tales are telling me that it's a boy. But I talked to a couple of other moms who had like a smooth first trimester just like I did, and they had girls. So that kind of gives me hope that maybe it could be a girl. And the old wives' tales that lead me to believe it's a boy is the fact that I have a taste for saltier things more than sweet things. My skin is clear. I haven't been breaking out or anything. I haven't had any nausea or morning sickness. I think those were like the main ones that were supposed to be the difference between allegedly being pregnant with a boy and being pregnant with a girl. So I'm excited to see like what it actually turns out to be, like if they're accurate or if it's a hit or miss kind of thing. But overall, we are super excited for what's to come. We're excited for the journey. We're excited for the experience. We're excited to become parents. I actually feel like this is the most mentally prepared I've been to become a mom since we've been married. So I feel like the timing is perfect. I'm grateful that I have a husband who has always been a family man. He's always wanted kids. So I didn't have to worry about, having to tiptoe to tell him I'm pregnant and, brace myself for any kind of negative reaction. He's very excited. He's very happy. I know he's going to be a great dad. I knew that even before I married him. And yeah, I feel very blessed. I have always heard, like children are a gift from God. Children are a heritage of the Lord or from the Lord, but it hits different actually being pregnant. Like God really chose me to carry this baby and bring them into the earth and raise them and rear them in the fear of the Lord, and to be a great person, a great, member of society, a great Christian, all of that, a great man or woman, depending on the gender. I definitely feel like God has smiled on me and smiled on our family. So it's just a lot of gratitude, a lot of gratefulness, a lot of joy. One thing I forgot to mention is that during those early weeks after finding out I was pregnant, probably around week 5 and 6, I was experiencing a lot of cramping. Not bad cramping, because they tell you that if the cramps like persist longer than 30 minutes, or if they're like really painful, then maybe you should go see a doctor. But it was just like, it was an uncomfortable cramping, like mild cramping. Definitely not as bad as my period cramps, because those things are otherworldly. But I definitely had them for a couple of weeks, and I think that's associated with the implantation, when it's when the embryo is implanting on the uterine wall. And so I could definitely feel it. Eventually it subsided. I'm grateful for that. And now my stomach is firming up. I can tell that it feels like harder to the touch than it was. And so that's cool. You know, if you know what it's like to feel a pregnant belly, it feels hard. Mine isn't like all the way hard yet, but I can definitely feel the firmness. I have been able to sleep on my stomach up to this point, but I think I'm getting to the part where I'm like, okay, maybe I should start sleeping on my side. It's not that it hurts to lay on my stomach. It's just, it's a little uncomfortable, a little bit. I don't have a pregnancy pillow yet, but I do plan to get one very, very soon. I do plan to keep you guys updated the rest of the way. I'll do a second trimester recap video at the end, but I'm also going to be sharing some other, topics and videos just regarding the journey and different things that I'm doing, especially our gender reveal. I'm going to be sure to have that footage recorded. If you guys have any resources to share for first-time moms, pregnancies, then be sure, to leave a comment. We can chat. I appreciate it all. I welcome all of the insight from your personal experiences, because like I said, I have never done this before. So, I'm not an expert or anything, but I do intend to share my journey. And if you want to follow along, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to keep it coming, y'all. I'm going to keep the videos coming. Okay? Thank you.